Storytelling used to be an incredibly important part of societies. The ability to describe and embellish the smallest details for people was what drove imagination. If the storyteller was good enough, his audience would think to themselves, "That sounds unbelievable. Why is that lost on us today?" Well, it's simple. Our pictures tell more stories than words ever could. Now that all of us carry cameras around with us every day, we don't have to try and convince anyone. We let the footage speak for itself. So when the rare time comes where you hear a story that makes you think, "Is that actually real?" chances are there is some video footage of it somewhere on the internet. That's exactly what we have for you today. From a whale nearly swallowing a man to Mother Nature blowing cars down a street, here are 5 more moments you wouldn't believe if not filmed. We've all seen pictures of glaciers and know that they are slow-moving bodies of ice that are inching their way in a certain direction. But on Lake Mille Lacs in Minnesota, the melting glaciers decided they weren't going to take their time. In this video, shot at the Izades Resort Grounds in Onamia, Minnesota on May 22, 2013, we can see what looks to be a wall of ice moving out of the lake and towards the buildings. It was an incredible sight, as the ice seemed to resemble some sort of eerie fog that crept along the ground. Inch after inch, foot after foot, it advanced. Once it reached the building, it still kept going, even moving inside.
So you show Nikki? Look at it, it's just plowing over that bush.
Yeah. Look at how it's moving too. It's just going good.
Oh my God, you hear that? Nikki, it's still moving into that house.
I can't do nothing about it, girl. Village is closed. I call the fire department.
Meteorologists and scientists who examined this incredibly rare phenomenon said that the ice wall was due to a perfect combination of conditions on that particular day. As it was the middle of spring, temperatures had warmed the ice enough that it easily cracked. However, there were also incredibly high winds that day, with some gusts reaching tropical storm strength. This wind pushed the fragile ice towards the shore and over the bank to encroach onto the land. Although the damage was not as bad at this resort, other areas of the lake did not fare as well. The advancing ice walls destroyed some homes and did a great deal of property damage. Along the coasts of the world, many people have taken up the hobby of kayaking. Such was the case for Eddie Willis on a July afternoon in 2016 along the California coast in Half Moon Bay. That afternoon, Willis was fishing for lingcod fish. While filming his excursion, 2 humpback whales suddenly breached the surface only feet from the front of his kayak. To add a bit to the adrenaline rush, the massive animals were feeding. So, as they broke the surface of the water, their mouths were wide open, definitely wide enough for a man and his kayak to fit into. It didn't take long for Willis's video to go viral. When interviewed about the encounter, he said he wasn't fearful. "To me, I love whales. I love sharks. It's an adrenaline rush more than anything." When this event took place, Willis was working to accomplish a fishing record for the most lingcod fish caught from a kayak. His coastal tour saw him fishing from the ocean somewhere new every day. So, this was not his first encounter with whales. Previous whale encounters occurred in Monterey Bay the previous year when he saw a gray whale calf and even a blue whale, both appearing close enough to touch. But there weren't any videos of those. Car rides are usually meant to be leisurely and relaxing if at all possible. No matter where you're going, you have that time to yourself to think, talk, sing, whatever. In the case of Travis Carpenter, his little drive took an abrupt turn for the worst when he lost control of his vehicle.
And now my life is right here. And now my life. Ah! Oh!
Carpenter routinely films himself because he practices singing. Also, he was driving a route that he routinely made plenty of times before. This trip from Indianapolis to Whitewater was about a 4-hour drive, plenty of time to bust out some tunes. On this day, though, the roads were a bit wet. On his YouTube channel, he explained, "I was traveling from Indianapolis to Whitewater. I was going 70 miles per hour, which was the speed limit on I-65 North. In the video, through his singing, something happens. He hit a wet spot in the road and his car hydroplaned. After a couple of seconds and a short scream, everything was normal again. Carpenter was in a bit of shock, but luckily ended up not sustaining any injuries." Hurricanes are some of the most destructive forces on Earth due to their incredibly high winds. In the Pacific regions, the storms are known as typhoons. On September 29, 2012, at a military base in Okinawa, Japan, Joseph M. Nolan was taking a video of the ferocious storm from the balcony of a parking lot. It is evident that the winds in this typhoon were no joke, blowing at speeds up to 78 miles per hour. For those of you who may be thinking, that's a weak hurricane, then pay attention to this video. All of the cars are shaking and the wind is whipping. Suddenly, with one powerful gust, the white car is blown onto its side. Immediately afterwards, the winds carry it down the parking lot nearly 150 feet like it was made of paper. The vehicle was pushed at an incredible speed across the parking lot. When it hit the curb, it went airborne, spinning about 6 or 7 times before coming to a rest. It shows that even though the typhoon was weak, it had more power than most people would expect. The video is a testament to the storm's incredible strength and is a prime example of why you should always have your camera ready. You never know when you need to show others why even a weak storm should not be taken lightly. Obviously, though, please don't put yourselves at risk. Luckily for the people in this region, the storm did not bring about a high death toll. Only one person was reported to have lost their life from the storm. We've all heard stories of random strangers who went out of their ways to save the lives of people that they don't know, even risking their own lives in the process. We may have even played those same scenarios out in our own minds, putting ourselves in the heroic shoes of the Good Samaritan. Thanks to recovered CCTV footage, we can actually see one of these scenarios play out. It isn't known exactly where this video was taken, but most believe it was somewhere in London. Here, we can see a man who appears to be drunk, trying to cross the tracks with his bicycle and some belongings. Stumbling around, the unidentified man struggles with his things, oblivious to what is going on around him. Near the top of the screen, 2 rail workers dressed in orange are seen walking alongside the tracks, seemingly inspecting something. However, they are able to look up, see the drunk man, and realize that there was trouble. The pair work their way towards the man and then realize that there is an oncoming train. Once they saw that the man was oblivious to the train's approach, they rushed into action, with one of the workers sprinting ahead. As the train was about to barrel through, the worker dove and tackled the drunk man off the tracks, causing the train to miss him by mere inches. There were original reports that the video footage was faked and everything seemed too perfect. However, there has been no evidence introduced to show it was fabricated. Multiple train conductors have even chimed in, saying that people walking along the track is a more common occurrence than people realize, and that this video absolutely appears real. It goes to show that amazing things are happening around us all the time. Stories would not do justice to the crazy, terrifying, or unbelievable things that happen. Pictures and videos tell the stories nowadays. If you want to see more crazy moments just like these, then be sure to click the link on screen now to check out our first part of this series. You won't want to miss it. As always, thanks for watching and tune in next time.